Okay, I have 2 hours. Oh my god, that was so slow. Here we go, people. Trial day 1.
Off when you
Start with a cutscene. Start with a cutscene. It'll probably be like really laggy, but please. December 20th.
December 20. Whoa. I did a little research. I looked into the special psyche locks you mentioned, Mr. Nick.
You did? That's great. I really appreciate it.
A red psyche lock protects a secret a person is consciously trying to hide. If the person holds in under questioning, the lock breaks and the truth comes out.
Yep, that's exactly how I got the truth out of Detective Fulbright and Director Cosmos.
But a black psyche lock protects a secret from the deepest place in a person's heart. A secret that the person isn't even consciously aware of.
So what was Kristoff's? So even they don't know it's there?
Athena isn't trying to keep anything from you on purpose. For some reason, part of her heart and her memories are sealed off, even from herself.
Okay, so all I have to do is break the psych locks.
According to my research, a black psyche lock is like a heavy chain wrapped directly around one's heart. They are ripped off by force. It could cause permanent damage to a person's soul.
Oh, mother... In other words, if I'm not careful, I could traumatize Athena for good. Gulp. Pearls, could you stay by Athena's side? She must be suffering under the weight of the heavy burden. Such a heavy burden.
Alright. But will you be alright by yourself, Mr. Nick?
I'm up against Edgeworth. I have to be able to give this trial all of my focus and strength. He's already gonna distract me enough.
You can't do that if I'm there. I'll just hold you back.
No, that's not it. I just mean I can relax and concentrate if I knew you were with Athena. You're the only one who can do it, Pearls.
Alright. I'll do it then. Good luck, Mr. Nick.
I love Pearls. Pearly! Good, now that my
She
mind
does
is at
not look
ease.
that different from her child
She
version.
really doesn't. I better get ready. I'll just tidy up the evidence and take out what I don't need. It's time to end this nightmare that started 7 years ago.
Like you,
Cutscene, 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 cutscene. Give the dramatic cutscene. Defense, prosecution, and judge. There are even people in the gallery. I hope they don't fall. The roof has been completely blown off, and the walls have collapsed. But today, this ruin is my battleground.
Look at the little guy.
Edgeworth! Court or some facsimile thereof is now in session for the trial of Athena Sykes.
Hold it.
Do you want to do Aura?
Okay, wait. Sure. Not a fast mile, I don't know that word. Old man, this is a proper official trial. Take this more seriously or you'll start hearing the bones of the hostages now.
Please try not to upset Miss Blackwell. I'm begging you. Court is now in session for the very serious and very proper trial of Athena Sykes. This is no trial. It's nothing more than a ridiculous farce.
Edward, don't say that. What did he say?
I said fuck you. Edgeworth, did you not hear what I just said to his honor? However, this ridiculous farce has a very important meaning for our legal system. Recall the case of the UR1 incident, in which a prosecutor was found guilty of murder. That case ushered the odious dark age of the law.
See what you're after. If we can find the real truth behind that case today.
Precisely. The darkness will be dispelled, and glory shall be restored to the court system. Prosecutor Edgeworth, you sound as if you know something of this truth. I do indeed. A new suspect has emerged in the UR1 case. For 7 years, Simon Blackwell has refused to speak in order to cover for someone else. Brace yourself, Phoenix. Here it comes. I'm sorry, right, but the situation is what it is, and I must do what I must. The prosecution moves to indict, I can't remember how to say it. Athena Sykes on the court of murder in the first degree.
What is going on?
Cutscene, cutscene,
I can't.
cutscene. Yes!
Regardless the circumstance, I intend to question the defendant with all I have. For that is a part of my creed.
Okay.
Then you'd better bring it.
If the two of you are ready,
Stop gazing to each other's eyes! Sorry, I can't help it.
court is now in session for the trial of Athena Sykes.
Your Honor, the defense was born ready.
Alright.
The prosecution is also ready.
The immense tension between us. It's like we're picking up right where we left off. You have to stop, Phoenix. You legitimately have to stop. I can't. It's my duty to clear Prosecutor Blackwell of false accusations and end this insanity. But I have no intention of losing Miss Sykes either. She's a very promising young lawyer. I know without a doubt Athena is innocent. But I don't think Prosecutor Blackwell did it either. Tension! Yeah. So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage? At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what the person is. To put it simply, a spy. Old man speaking. The true culprit is a spy. It's going to be hard to convince anyone of that when I barely believe it myself. But I don't have a choice if I want to save Athena and Blackwell and expose the spy. Now then, Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth. No need for the Chief Prosecutor bit, Your Honor. Can you put your glasses back on, please? I'm here as a simple prosecutor. Very well. Your opening statement, please, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Although, I've been notified to give an impressive opening statement myself. In all the trials I've ever seen, only the prosecution gives an opening statement. Of course, you're right. I was just joking. Just having a little fun. So he wasn't doing them just out of fear. Interesting. Let's start with a brief overview of the UR1 incident. We are one, Edgeworth. We're married. The incident occurred at the Cosmos Space Center 7 years ago on October 7th. The victim, psychologist Matus Sykes, was killed in the robotics lab on the 4th floor. Athena's mother. Simon Blackwell, a young prosecutor at the time, was found guilty of the crime.
Baby, I mean, what?
Prosecutor Cord, please stop talking. There are two deciding factors that led to his guilty verdict. One, Blackwell was the only person in the corridor to the lab at the time of the murder. And two, this photo, which captured the moment of the crime. Very incriminating evidence indeed. Whoa, what's that? The arm of a robot. And blood on it. Interesting. It would appear that the only conclusion is that Prosecutor Blackwell did indeed.
you kidding me? I'm not accepting any conclusion of the kind. This opening statement is over. Hold on, let's stream it. Now hurry up and call the witness.
Excuse me, Miss Blackwell, but we must follow proper procedure for these things, you know. Perhaps we should heed her wishes, Your Honor. She is the trial sponsor after all. Besides, the courtroom is chilly and sitting for too long can't be good for your back. Oh, you're very kind to show such concern for the welfare of the elderly. As skilled as ever at playing the court puppeteer, I see. The prosecution calls its first witness. A witness who decided to bring forth new testimony after 7 long years. New testimony? Just who is this witness anyway? Clay I mean... yeah, it's you, asshole.
Hi.
Bobby Fulbright's the name. In justice we trust. What are you doing here? I'm just here to speak for the hostage taker, Miss Aura Blackwell. She says she's too busy with confining and threatening the hostages after all. That doesn't seem to stop her from constantly chiming in through Clonko.
I'm nothing more than an observer in this. Do your best. I'm watching you.
It is Clonko's arm. It's green.
Why is she so adorable?
Oh no, it's red. So it's Ponko's arm. It's Ponko's arm. 'Cause it's red. Believing her brother innocent, Miss Blackwell has been conducting her own investigation. And through her current actions... Investigations? Where? We must inspect every nook and cranny. And though her current actions are hardly lawful, I think that we can at least hear her theory. I have right here Miss Blackwell's notes on the investigation she conducted. And I'll be giving the testimony based on these notes. Here I go. Simon isn't the murderer who's trying to cover for someone else. Someone else was at the scene of the time they say Simon committed the murder. I mean, if he really was out to steal that moon rock, then why the rolling case? Because he was using it to hide someone inside, that's why. And the only person small enough to fit inside that case was Athena Sykes! What about a robot? What about a robot? Put a robot in there. And that's Miss Blackwell's theory. It totally goes in the face of official ruling. About the case she mentioned, there were other rolling cases like that one in the lab. But they were not traveling. They were apparently for moving parts and equipment. I vaguely remember seeing 3 cases, all different sizes. At the last trial, they thought that Prosecutor Blackwell used the case to steal the rock, and they had a perfectly good reason to think that too. You see, there's a security camera in the corridor that leads to the robotics lab, and that camera captured footage of Blackwell leaving the scene with the case. Okay, well, show me his face, and then I'll believe ya. I can see why that footage helped to bring this trial to a quick end. It's very convincing, that's for sure. That case, by the way, was later discovered outside on the Space Center grounds. Speaking of, after the incident, where was the defendant, Athena Sykes, found? She was found on the 5th floor of the Space Center in the Sykes family residence. Prosecutor Blackwell most likely brought her there after the incident. In addition, it's unknown to where Miss Sykes was at the estimated time of death. Miss Sykes was too confused by the shock of her mother's death to give proper testimony, and there was no witness or evidence to tell us where she might have been. So what you're saying is Miss Sykes didn't have an alibi? That is what the evidence is saying, yes.
Probably you're stupid smart, bro.
What's wrong with it, Lenaire? You don't like my thing. I understand the reasoning behind this theory, but I'm far from convinced. Don't punch me, please. The victim is the accused mother. Are you actually claiming that an 11-year-old girl... I claimed that an 8-year-old boy killed his father, and you believed me. Prosecutor Edgeworth, I need you to stop talking right now. Okay. Of course, the girl had a very strong motive. Dr. Sykes was a psychologist who wrote many papers about speech and emotions. You're aware of Athena Sykes' special ability, aren't you, Your Honor? Are you referring to the therapy thing? Yeah, she's done it quite a few times in court. The ability to read emotions from speech, and the subject of her mother's research. Well, as long as it benefits society, I don't see any particular problem researching it. I don't like where this is heading. Not one bit. Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research, she forced her daughter to undergo experiments. Prosecutor Edward! Are you seriously suggesting? I've done my best to be delicate, but even you can't deny it to be true, Mr. Wright. No longer able to withstand the anguish of the experiments, Miss Sykes felt her only choice was to kill her own mother. Ah!
Ruins.
They got rid of Edward's ass. Order! Order in the court! What a tragic story!
Why is that the first thing you say?
Did you say something right? No? No, I didn't. I hardly want to believe it myself. But we must proceed. Mr. Wright, if you could, Detective Fulbright, please refer to the notes.
Hold it!
So, Prosecutor Blackwell willingly accepted a death sentence to protect someone else? Yes, that is precisely what Miss Blackwell appears to believe. And that is what I believe as well. Prosecutor Blackwell is no murderer, Mr. Wright. But Athena Sykes certainly didn't kill anyone either, Mr. Edgeworth. So it appears neither of us can afford to go easy on the other. Fine. I expected no less. Oh, remember this tense atmosphere. It's so invigorating.
The sexual tension. I mean, what was it?
They're going to make out after this, I'm sure. I'm only reading the notes here, but yeah, I feel extra invigorated too, so let's keep going.
Hold it!
But that's just speculation. Ew. No, Miss Blackwell has proper grounds for her claims.
Objection!
Then why didn't you say so in the first place?
Objection!
Oh my god. You're the one who screamed, "Hold it!" and cut me off. Fine, so maybe I jumped the gun a teeny weeny bit. Ha 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 ha! Now I know what they mean when they say close enough to argue. Moving on.
They're married.
This rolling case, I suppose you mean this one? That existed in the photo when with Prosecutor Blackwell in it. But was absent when the crime scene photos were taken? Yes, that's the one. And Miss Blackwell was... Okay, what? Whatever. And Miss Blackwell has drawn a conclusion from these two photos. She has? And what is the conclusion? You're the one with her notes! Oh, right. Of course. Reading them now. So, why the rolling case? Because he was using it to hide someone inside, that's why. And how do you propose he hid a person inside one of those cases? Have you forgotten that we saw just such a thing only the other day? At your own daughter's magic show. We went to your daughter's magic show together, right? Come on.
Aww.
She fit a grown person into a small
Sweet.
box. Oh, yeah. Way to ruin the memory of a good day. The magic show! I wish you would have thought to invite me. I actually would have liked to go, too. My apologies. I'll invite you both next time. I promise. So, wait a minute. What were we talking about again? Prosecutor Blackwell was using the case to hide someone.
Hold it!
But that's nothing more than conjecture, and it's hardly the only possibility. In that case, what do you think Prosecutor Blackwell had in that case? I think it was... the moon rock.
Objection!
I like his old voice. Objection! There were 3 cases at the scene, but Prosecutor Blackwell used the largest one. The moon rock was egg-shaped and only about 8 inches in diameter. It wouldn't have made any sense to use the largest case there to move the rock. Be that as it may, it doesn't prove Miss Sykes was inside. Then let me ask you this. Can you come up with a better theory of what was in the case? Well, Mr. Wright, can you? Yikes. Give a guy some time to think. Let's see. Should I try to bluff my way through and see what... I'm gonna bluff. I'm bluffing.
Bluff.
I know exactly what Prosecutor Blackwell carried from the scene. I just have to find something else that was missing, right? No sweat. Oh, I'd be very interested in hearing your theory, if it's true, that is. Okay. This is the crime scene photo taken after Prosecutor Blackwell left, correct? All I have to do is compare this with this photo of Prosecutor Blackwell to see what's missing. If he took something with him, then it should be one in Ponko's arm. Lady Luck, don't fail me now. Alright then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Okay.
Arm.
The arm.
Oh, the
But
bandages I just realized from Athena. That's actually so...
Yes.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah. I knew it! I knew it! I'm so smart! I'm so smart! See, look, there's blood on it. I knew it. I know I should look at things. Follow my stupid hunches because they're usually right. Could it be she was poisoned?
That is an iconic mental hunter
I'm
scene
losing
for
my
real.
mind. Please. Oh, wait, this is Phoenix. Please notice that there is a robot part on the top of the car in this photo. However, in this photo taken after the crime, the robot part is gone. In other words, this part is something that was taken from the scene of the crime. You do appear to be right. I don't see it in the second picture. But it's just a piece of junk. How important could it be? Is it really just an insignificant robot part? Speaking of which...
What are you looking at? I'm gonna start charging for each glance per eyeball.
Bro. Stingy, or stingy, I don't know. What happened to the age of free previews? Your Honor, about this robot part. Doesn't it look like it could be an arm from that robot there? Oh, now that you mention it, it does, doesn't it? But the case is still too big to be practical for just a moonrock and robot arm. But was it really just the one arm that was in there? If it wasn't Athena in the case, then maybe... I believe there was another robot at the scene that looks just like this one here. Your Honor, it is the defense's assertion that this was the other robot that was in the case. What?
Objection!
We can't be certain that part belonged to a robot. Yet it looks like the arm of one before us, but it could be something else entirely. Besides, it's wrapped entirely in bandaging, making it difficult to verify what it is. Yeah, fuck you. I know for a fact that is a robot arm. I can even tell which robot it belonged to, just by looking at it. With this information, we can investigate whether it was there at the time or not. Well, Mr. Wright, I thought you were more of a technologically illiterate type. I'm illiterate too. Why did you become such an expert? I feel somehow abandoned. Well, not to worry, Your Honor. I still know next to nothing about machines. But I do know this piece of evidence proves which robot it belonged to.
The photo.
The photo. Where is the photo?
The one with the jacket.
This one? Oh, this is where it is?
Yeah.
Why is it there? Hat
Yeah.
1 exhibit. Okay, whatever. The robot in this picture is named Ponko. Take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that. She must have thought the machines heal the same way that people do. What an adorable, naive mistake. It reminds me of my own grandchild. The robot arm at the crime scene had the same bandaging wrapped around it. In other words, this robot arm could belong to none other than Ponko.
I love how Conko is just there.
Order! Order in the court! What do I say? Prosecutor Edgeworth! What do you have to say to this? I can see that the robot is about the same size as a child, but it cannot grab its knees and curl itself into a ball. Even if it was the largest of cases, the robot couldn't possibly fit in there. The case
It's an arm, bro!
does come up to about mid-thigh on Prosecutor Blackwell. I see your point. The robot is much taller than that. Well, they've got me there. So then, did Prosecutor Blackwell make Ponko fit in the case by dismantling her? Because you can dismantle the machine. Of course Ponko would fit. All Prosecutor Blackwell had to do was dismantle her. Once taken apart, the robot could have easily fit inside that rolling case. Flashback. It appears to be a robot assembly device.
Disassemble anything in the planet. Push the dismantle button. That sounds pretty neat. Can you push it, Mr. Nick?
Might kill someone if you do, but sure, try. It sounds rather violent, but Mr. Wright does have a point there. Except that there was a body on the table where the robots are dismantled and assembled. There would have been no room to take the robot apart. But what if it wasn't done on the table? What if the katana was used instead? You mean the sword? Yes, Your Honor. I have one too. It's been passed down to my family from generations. Look, I think its name is Karuma or something. Yes, Your Honor. Miss Blackwell, I'd like your opinion as a woman of science. Is it true that a katana could have been used to take the robot apart?
I suppose so. Their joints are made of very tough material. A blade could slice through them.
Thank you for your expert opinion, Miss Blackwell. Thanks to you, we now know. I want to get that funny thing. So I have to mess up sometime. That the existence of the severed arm in the photo proves that Ponko was taken apart. In addition, the rest of Ponko was not found at the scene. We can conclude that the true meaning of this photo is very different from the original interpretation. You can't mean... That's exactly what I mean. This photo does not capture the moment of the murder. It is instead a picture of the moment after the robot was sliced apart. The blood you see where the arm was cut off was transferred there by the bloody katana. Most likely the rest of Ponko is scattered around Prosecutor Blackwell's feet.
Hearing this?
Then I'll speak louder! Therefore, what was transported inside that case was not the defendant, but a robot. Miss Sykes was never at the scene of the time of the murder. Oh my god.
Where am I?
Okay.
Jesus Christ, I'm violent.
Oh my god, Sprite. I'm sorry. Order! Order in the court!
It's true that Ponko was found in pieces after the murder. And I'll admit, I repaired her myself afterwards.
Awesome.
Okay, I thought she really had another point to make.
Yes! I'm finally making some progress. Hopefully I've gotten at least one step closer to proving both Athena and Prosecutor Blackwell innocent.
Objection!
You suck, right? I've updated the autopsy report. Well played, Mr. Wright. You've clearly made your point... Sorry. You've made your point abundantly clear.
Like a segment just for Zed to be a prosecutor here.
I can see that it wasn't the defendant inside the rolling case, but the robot. Alright, what's going on here? It's never good when he plays things this straight. He's usually gay. Does prosecution withdraw its claim that the defendant was carried away from the scene? No, Your Honor, my claim hasn't changed.
Objection!
But Ponko and Miss Sykes couldn't have both been inside that case. The notion that the case was used to carry Miss Sykes was Miss Blackwell's theory. I have been of a different opinion from the outset. Now I finally have the opportunity to voice my theory. My name is Matthew Patrick, and listen to my theory. Thanks to the defense. Edgeworth. He's been one step ahead of me this whole time. In that case, I didn't propose the defendant left the crime scene. Simple. The footage shows only Prosecutor Blackwell cut from behind. What's more, he's holding his arm in front of his body, as if he were holding something or someone. You really think he could? Well, that's hardly evidence.
Yeah.
I have proof. This. I love how I said that. I said it so terribly that it sounded like I have purse. I have proof. the surcoat Prosecutor Blackwell was wearing. The victim's blood was found on the front.
He's wearing right now.
He's shirtless. I don't know. He has like 5 different versions of the same coat. That's why I have this one. He has 4 more in this closet. You see how it's black and white? It's because he's closeted. He doesn't want to wear color because it will prove he is gay. I don't know.
He's emo.
Yeah, it was found in the front in a distinctive shape. A blood stain with distinctive shape. Please continue, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Yes, of course. Emma Skye. Get in here. 7 years ago, the defendant was known to constantly wear a certain item, of which there are only one in the world, a special pair of headphones made just for her.
She always wore these big, heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother made them for her as a part of her research.
Because I was there when I heard Miss Woods say this. Analysis showed the blood stain to be the exact same shape as the headphones. In other words, this is no mere blood. Give it to me, Rachel! The blood went from the victim's body to the headphones and then was imprinted onto Prosecutor Blackwell's coat like a stamp. Give it in my court record. Let me examine this. Most gruesome stamp indeed! Blackwell carried Miss Sykes, who had been hit by splatter, away from the crime scene. This proves Athena Sykes was, without question, present at the crime scene. And that concludes the prosecution's argument. Ah! Order! If the defendant was indeed at the scene, it deepens the suspicion against her. But we've also shown that the robot was there at the scene as well. I hope you're not making the ridiculous claim that a simple robot was the real murderer. I don't really think that, no, but you can't say the possibility isn't there. Detective Fulbright, was the robot in question at the time?
It was dismantled.
No, I don't see any record of it. I believe it was considered unrelated to the case. But as it turned out, the robot was actually integrally related. Your Honor, the defense would like to call Ponko to the stand. A robot witness? I've called worse.
Yes.
That's true, you've called birds before. And dead people. In the court, Prosecutor Edgeworth, what do you think about this? We've had birds testify in this courtroom. We've had dead people testify in this courtroom. I don't think it's that far-fetched. Mr. Wright has called on. We had a walkie-talkie. Oh, look. Mr. Wright has called all manner of witnesses to the stand over the years. So why not a robot? Nothing surprises me anymore with him.
Yeah, you would know.
I would know.
Yeah, you would know.
Look at him!
Ew.
Sorry, Pongo!
Oh, wait, Edgeworth has silver hair. And he wears a cravat. You know who else has silver hair and wears a cravat?
Bro.
Descendant theory.
Wait, who?
Corvus.
Corvus. Well, Maz's hair is somewhat grayish. Silver. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Do you want to do Ponko?
No, bro, the stream is like lagging so hard for me. Okay, here. Okay, finally, Ponko. My name is not Witness, my name is Ponko.
Okay, we'll try this. Yes, I realize that. But when you are at the witness stand, you are the witness.
No, I'm not. I'm Ponko. Say it with me. Ponko.
What an utterly inflexible little robot. You're the last person who should be calling anybody inflexible. Whoa, how do you know that?
Oh, excuse me.
Remind me of my grandchildren. Just learned his own name. Oh, how precious. Alright, Ponko. I'm going to ask you some questions.
Questions? You have questions? Hooray! What are your questions?
I want to know if you were there at the scene of the murder of Matus Sykes. It was 7 years ago, on the 7th of October, around 2 p.m. in the robotics lab.
Certainly. Just one moment. Searching data. Search complete. Yes, I was there in the robotics lab.
It would seem this robot's testimony is necessary to this case after all. This is great. I just knew Ponko must have seen something important. Murder committed right before this poor little girl's eyes. It's inexcusable. The judge seems ready to adopt Ponko as another grandchild. So, little Ponko, do you think you can give us your testimony today?
Witness testimony. I went to the regular robotics lab at about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge off, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Matis. And Mommy Matis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything. After I charged up, I was cleaning the room and Mr. Simon came in. And then an error occurred, and there's no data after that point.
Because he got dismantled. Well, it sounds like the defendant was, without question, at the scene. However, it doesn't appear that the witness saw the actual moment of the murder. I disagree. This when I read his lines like that, it's so bad. It's he's just like whatever.
He's smug, okay? He's very smug.
This testimony shows that the defendant did indeed commit the crime. Sorry. What?
What?
At the end of the day, we mustn't forget that the witness is still a machine. Being a robot is at its understanding and capacity to express itself are limited. I did not read that wrong. I mean correct. Shoot. So what are you suggesting?
I did not read it wrong.
Herlock Holmes. The witness's statements need to be interpreted. For example, the terms hugged and then later fell down. Adults don't usually fall down after being hugged by a child. Miles, recall to when Trucy hugged you for the first time? You fell down? No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Okay, sure. My judge says something? Yes. What this witness statements are telling us. That the defendant stabbed the victim with a murder weapon during this moment. With a giant... What? With a giant sword? Before Miss Sykes hugged Dr. Sykes, did the two of them converse?
Yes, they did. They spoke to each other very loudly. But I don't know what they said. Athena is usually so quiet, so I was surprised.
Spoke very loudly. We can interpret this to mean they argued. I see. Murder after a heated argument. And the victim fell down. She was what, 12? 7 years ago. She 18.
9, 10-ish, I think.
Where's the excuse me.
She was 11. Holy.
11. I agree. That sounds like a reasonable interpretation. You know, that's so close to being 12. You know, what else happened when some characters were 12?
Why does Kazuma hate chicken?
He just doesn't like chicken. He's picky. He's a picky eater.
Me for real. Anyways, continue.
However, Pongo doesn't seem to remember anything that happened after that.
When I am recharging, I go into sleep mode. But I remember everything before that. I have very good memory.
You may as well admit defeat now, Mr. Right. There's no Mr. Sorry. Oh, a semicolon! A cross-examination would be useless. Don't be ridiculous. A cross-examination is never useless. Until now. Think about it. Robots don't lie. This robot is both an important witness and valuable evidence at the same time. Nevertheless, I will have my cross-examination. I see you haven't changed. You never were one to worry about wasting time. Jesus, stop it. Very well. Even if it may be a waste of time, you may proceed, Mr. Wright. I'll show you both just how fruitful any cross-examination can be. You're fruity. Yes, right, I know, we're married.
Hold it!
Your regular recharge? What is that exactly?
I have to refill my battery's power or else I stop working. I go to the lab today.
So that recharge occurred around 2 p.m. around the time of the murder?
That's right. I go every day at 2 p.m.
Hold it!
Hugged her, huh? Which Edgeworth took to mean stabbed her with a weapon. He said the two of them were talking before Miss Sykes hugged her mother, is that right?
Yes, they were talking very loudly, but I couldn't tell what they were saying.
Couldn't tell. Even though they were speaking so loudly?
I'm only allowed to listen to voices that are directed at me.
If it listened to every voice, it would be a little better than a mobile eavesdropper. Well, that explains why some of Ponko's testimony is so vague. It's a shame that our little friend wasn't listening in, however. We could have learned what they were talking about just before Dr. Sykes was killed. Now then, what happened after that?
Hold it!
I don't want to delve too deeply here, but could you tell us how the victim appeared and acted at this moment?
Mommy Mantis was very surprised when she was hugged. I heard her heart pound.
Her heart? Mr. Wright, have you forgotten about this document we found in the robotics lab? These robots have a heartbeat detection system. Oh, now that he mentions it, I do remember reading something like that there. They detect the presence of people by the sound of their heartbeats. But wait a minute, that means if Dr. Sykes really did die at this moment. Ponko, how was Dr. Sykes after she fell down? Could you still hear the sound of her heartbeat?
Let's see. The moment she fell, her heart was pounding. After that, I don't know. I started recharging just then.
Of all the unlucky timing. If you had heard anything after that, it could have possibly proved that the hug wasn't actually the moment of the murder.
I'm very sorry. I'm afraid I don't know. I'm very sorry.
The robot is designed to go into sleep mode automatically, so it can't be helped. But it does appear it detected an increased heart rate in the moment of the stabbing.
After Mommy made this, heart started pounding in surprise. She fell by the window.
Like what window? Oh.
It was the round window on the workbench side of the room.
She fell by the round one?
Apparently.
But like, no. Add that to your testimony. The workbench, huh? Ponko must have been talking about that table to the right. To where the... Okay, wait, what? There is something. I'm bluffing. I'm bluffing. Your Honor, I believe this statement is critical. I'd like it to add it to her testimony. Very well. Ponko, could you please add that statement to your testimony? That's okay. I'm not saying that.
Hold it!
Let's see. There are 2 round windows in the robotics lab. Which one do you mean?
The one on the right, near the hanging school.
Pictures, please. Anyone? Any? What?
Oh yeah. I don't remember what happened. I think I do. That hanging skull was Mommy made his prized possession.
Okay, in the pictures of the crime scene from 7 years ago, there is definitely... Oh, well, thanks, Phoenix! A hanging scroll and a Japanese theater mask hanging on the workbench beside the wall. But is there some problem with the statement?
Hold it!
Prosecutor Blackwell? I wonder what he went there for.
His objective? I don't know. I don't know.
I guess I can't very well ask Ponko to speculate. So what happened after Prosecutor Blackwell arrived?
Hold it!
You don't remember what happened next? An error, huh? I wonder if...
All data is suddenly cut off at that point. I don't know anything after that.
You were dismantled. The answer to that question is right here. According to the defense's theory, this photo shows when the robot was being taken apart. Exactly. We can conclude that Ponko's error was the result of her being dismantled. Indeed. The bodies of these robots are designed to be controlled remotely by a separate computer. Yeah, that's basically what Miss Blackwell explained to us too. She said their hearts and memories are stored on a separate computer. When the witness was taken apart, she lost the use of her body, but not her memories. She's... Hold on a minute.
Huh?
Sorry. So many people have texted me at once and I can't... I need to... Oh, fuck. Why do I have responsibilities? Okay. Fascinating. It's as if she can be seriously wounded, but her soul still burns. There are a few parts of Ponko's testimony that are hard to interpret. Edward chose to interpret hugged as stabbed. But I better try to iron out who did what and did what where and to whom for myself. Hold on, Athena. I'm coming to save you. Okay, something to do with the window. Because there's no blood on the ground, huh?
I don't actually know how the murder happened.
Instant death due to stab wound to the heart. Yeah, there's no blood anywhere, but the thing was found there. Okay, I'm just gonna...
Objection!
Oh my god, I'm so right! I'm so good at this game!
Wait, what did you give?
Okay, I did, this collection of things. 7-year-old photos. Because there's no blood on the ground. That's what I think, I'm supposed to send in. But I don't know if that's what it actually was. Ponko, your statement may have just inspired a breakthrough.
I was helpful? Hooray, I'm so happy.
Just to be sure, let's go over it again, okay? Let me also save the game, okay? The victim fell near the window on the workbench side of the room. However... her body was discovered on the operating table. But the operating table and the workbench are in 2 different locations! Exactly, Your Honor. We've just learned a new crucial okay, so it's... What could explain the 2 very different locations of the body? I'll tell you. The victim moved. An 11-year-old girl couldn't have moved the heavy body of an adult. So the only explanation is that the victim walked into the operating table herself. In other words, while Ponko observed near the workbench, couldn't possibly have been the moment of the murder. Ooh, I'm very relieved to hear that. Glad to know that the murder wasn't committed in front of little Ponko here. Yes, as we just heard in the testimony, Miss Sykes hugged her mother, nothing more.
Objection!
Right.
Right.
It's been 8 years, but you're still just as green as ever. Green? I'd say he's pretty blue. Oh, hey, blue's my favorite color. What can I say? The defendant couldn't move the body herself. She could have had it moved for her. Moved for her, but Miss Sykes and Dr. Sykes were the only ones there. I agree. Since this robot is equipped with a heartbeat detection system, it would have been aware of another person's presence if someone else had been there. We can therefore conclude that the defendant and the victim were the only ones present. Then who do you suggest move the body? Don't you know it's in the nature of a robot to help people do things? Miss Panko?
Pinko.
Bye. Allow me to ask you a question.
My name is Ponko. Say it with me. Ponko.
I believe you said you were cleaning after Dr. Sykes fell down. Did you happen to move something large onto the operating table?
Yes, I did. Athena asked me to.
If I had a home button right now, I'd press it. You know what? I can just... This is my new
There.
home button. This is my new home button.
There.
Athena asked you to. And what did you move, little Ponko?
I don't know. Unless something has an ID tag and tell what it is.
An ID tag, you say?
Yes, a tag with a barcode on it. We robots can scan them to tell us what a thing is.
A paper in the lab did mention something about that. Recognizes people by scanning their spacesuit or uniform jacket ID tag, it said. So it would appear Miss Panko here can't identify what it moved.
My name is Ponko!
But we humans have the power to imagine what it was, do we not? We do! A dead body, Your Honor. Are you stupid? I do, at least. Miss Panko, on the defendant's command, move the body to the operating table. Gah! Miss Panko, like the bread. Ponko, did you really move Dr. Sykes' body? This is really important. Is there any way you can tell?
I don't know. Without an ID tag, I can't tell.
Give it up, right? The victim's heart had stopped. The robot detection system would be useless. Furthermore, Dr. Sykes usually wore her white coat while she was working. She kept the jacket with her ID tag on it draped over the chair in the robotics lab, and only wore it for special occasions. In other words, the victim wasn't wearing her ID tag at the time. From the robot's point of view, her body was simply just another object.
Objection!
But Ponko is equipped with facial recognition system. If she really did move the victim, she would have recognized the body as Dr. Sykes. But she didn't, so that means... A face can easily be covered with a piece of cloth, a mask, or anything else for that matter. With her facial features hidden, the robot wouldn't be able to tell it was Dr. Sykes. He's right. To summarize, Miss Sykes stabbed her mother near the workbench, then using the robot, she moved the body to the table where she removed the sword and the stained blood. And was stained in blood. Whoopsies. Order! And if that's the case, then I have a question. Why did the defendant move the body to the operating table in the first place? You want a reason? Very well. What? You can't possibly have an explanation. Your emotions blind you to the truth. I'm gonna learn a lot from our robot friends. Common rational thought will open your eyes to the truth in front of you, Mr. Wright. Now then, do you remember the operating table, one special feature? I believe I read that robots can be assembled and disassembled there, isn't that right? That's right. And to the defendant, who was just a child at the time, the table was like a magic box that could make robots appear or disappear in seconds.
And in the end, my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed her in the back. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on there to fix me if I ever got hurt. It looked just like magic to me, what she could do.
You can't possibly be suggesting. This young, sheltered girl had a difficult time distinguishing robots from people. But take a look at Ponko's arm. Oh, this is me. But take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that. You must have thought the machines heal in the same way that people do. What an adorable, naive mistake. Alright, I don't need to know this. No way. I refuse to believe it! Miss Sykes made a childish and naive, cruel mistake. Naive and cruel mistake. She thought that if a robot could be dismantled and vanish without a trace. Prosecutor Edgeworth! Hey, if you're about to claim what I think you are, I demand that you word it as delicately as you can. With all due respect, Your Honor, all I can do in the present is present the truth as it stands. Because I hate people. Sorry. The reason the defendant moved the victim's body to the operating table. No! Don't say another word! Just stop! Was to dismantle the evidence so that she could get away with her crime. That can't be the truth! Whoopsies, I peeked.
I wasn't paying attention, if I'm being honest.
Order in the court! Order in the court, I say! Edgeworth, she was just a little kid. How can you say such a horrible thing? Horrible? I framed myself for my father's murder, right? What do you want from me? Like I said, you're just as green as ever. I came here today as a prosecutor to seek only the truth, no more, no less. My theory is simple. It is simply the result of a rational consideration of every possibility.
Objection!
My favorite part's about to come up.
But dismantling isn't the table's only function. It can make repairs as well. It's conceivable that Miss Sykes moved her mother to the table in order to fix her. I suppose that could be another way of interpreting it. But dismantle or repair, it doesn't matter either way. What do you mean? After murdering her mother, Miss Sykes may have come to her senses. Perhaps she did not want to make it appear as if it never happened. Perhaps she did want to make it appear as if it never happened. And that's why she tried to repair her mother. Yes, that's only one possible explanation. But we mustn't forget the facts of this case. The victim was observed to fall down after being hugged by the defendant. And the body was moved per the defendant's command. These two facts that indicate the defendant's guilt, remain unchanged. This just can't be true. Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence to refute the prosecution's claim? Evidence? Right. Let's see. I can't think of any. I'm afraid I don't have any evidence. Since becoming chief prosecutor, I've learned that the truth isn't always pretty. Now accept the truth, Mr. Wright. Your subordinate murdered her own mother. Your Honor, the prosecution demands a verdict. The hostages have suffered enough. What a terrible and tragic conclusion. If the defense has no counter-argument, I see no need to further prolong this trial. Edgeworth's argument seems solid enough, but there's no way Athena could have ever done anything like that. What do I do? There has to be something. But I can't think of a single thing. Boss! Chief! Oh, shit.
Yay!
It's me. Hi, losers.
Hi!
Prosecutor Blackwell!
He escaped from prison again.
Oh, this looks weird. I don't like your front-facing sprites.
I hate him.
This is quite the farce you are conducting here. I could die from laughter. Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you talking about? The sexual tension between you two. What do you think I'm talking about? What I'm talking about is that your argument is based on entirely a false premise. Go on. We're listening. Could this be the miracle I needed? But what is Prosecutor Blackwell trying to pull here?
How did you get here? Zed.
7 years. For 7 long years. This case has been on my mind. Not for an instant did I not think of it. Hey, you're just like Keiji. I mean, who said that? I'm the one who killed my mentor. And don't think you can alter that fact now. Your baldness I will take to the stand, and I won't take no for an answer. Of course, Prosecutor Blackwell! Please go ahead!
Hi!
He's too tall, he doesn't fit on the screen.
He doesn't.
I came to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. But when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. I'm not to be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And then I committed the act. Oh, how cathartic it was. Can you shut the fuck up? Little Ponko here, when is the victim falling? In other words...
Objection!
I do not need any of your other words, old man. I can guess what happened. Which would be... She fell means she fell. Merely that. A mother and child fooling around. Perhaps she tripped. Not that it matters. When I entered the lab, there was no trace of Dr. Sykes to be seen. There was no dead body either, of course. Meaning she must have left the room. So the murder occurred after a time period Pongo described in her testimony? You should hardly take stock in the words of that wind-up toy. Then how do you explain the fact that the defendant had the robot move something? Athena was always tinkering with robots on the operating cable to amuse herself, and she always had Ponko move the heavy ones for her. That day was no different. Ponko moved a heavy robot for Athena. This is awful. What he's saying seems to make sense, and yet... Prosecutor Blackwell, are you trying, even now, to turn away from the truth? Don't you realize we could bring the dark age of the law to a close today? You expect too much from me. I'm just a murderer beyond redemption. Why don't you just let me go so I can settle down into hell? Prosecutor Blackwell's execution is tomorrow. If the truth doesn't come out now, it's all over. You're saying that the little girl and the robot had nothing to do with the murder? That's right. So let's hear your verdict. If you don't hurry, I might miss the ferry across the Styx.
Styx? That's a ninja. Don't you dare, Judge! Don't forget I have hostages over here. And Simon, how long are you gonna cover for her?
Miss Blackwell. Forgive me, Aura. I never wanted you to do anything like this for me. But you agreed to this trial. If you have a counter-argument, then present your evidence. That's the rule of the courtroom. Isn't that right, Chief Prosecutor? Blackwell? You selfish... Well, to be frank, I don't like this, but it's my duty to make a decision. If no one has a counter-argument, I will announce my verdict. Is this really happening? Is it really going to end just like it did 7 years ago? Flashback.
Oh yes. Another favorite moment happening. I wanted to do it so bad. Even now, I want to fly out here and go save him.
No, I can't tell her. How can I lie to Athena? I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwell's innocence in this trial. I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. I can't let this happen. But I just don't have the evidence to counter Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony.
Let's go!
Who's next?
Hi!
Athena, what are you... Are you feeling okay?
I can hear it. I can hear the voice of his heart. He's hiding something.
I'm so proud of myself that I can translate this into Japanese. 聞こえる。聞こえるその声の心。何かおかしい。If he really is, I could sure use Athena's help here. Hey Athena, let's do a therapy session. Her power might just be the thing that gets us through this.
Objection!
Sykes, Donna. No need for you to chime in here, just accept that you're innocent! No, asshole.
These past 7 years, they've been just as hard. They've been just as hard on me, you know.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember that horrible, horrible trial?
Flashback!
Please, you have to listen to me.
Whoa.
Child Athena. He didn't kill her. Started screaming that he didn't kill her. Even now, every time I stand in a courtroom, it comes back to haunt me. Ew.
I'm here too, by the way.
Not being heard no matter how hard you try. I'm so helpless. Watching people stare, scared that so scared that it feels like your chest is in a vice.
I don't remember this one.
I do. I'm terrified of courtrooms. I want to run out of the door even now.
I only remember like Robin and Hugh from that case, and Juniper, but like, and yet you found a way to keep your fears at bay and become a lawyer.
Thanks. That's because one day, I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up. I exercised hard and I studied hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be. All of these flashbacks are killing me, bro. The day has finally come. The day I've been looking forward to with all my heart. This is why I became a lawyer. This is why I studied psychology. It was all to save you from this false conviction.
But Miss Sykes, do you realize what it would mean? You are the accused, after all. If you prove Prosecutor Blackwell innocent, then... Oops. Okay. The only thing that matters is the truth. It's my duty to find out what the truth is. Simon, please give me this chance. A chance to shake off this fear that's been with me for 7 years and to face the truth. Athena's being so brave confronting her past like this. This might really be the last chance to save them both. Prosecutor Blackwell, please testify one more time about the incident 7 years ago. Maybe I'll end it here. Fine.
Back, sorry.
But your efforts will surely be in vain. For I am not a man who can be cut down so easily.
Here we go, Simon.
I think I will save here. That will be a good place to save. Okay. Oh yeah. We'll save here.
Been enough here?
Yes. Let's leave! Not the privacy policy. Excuse... No. Oh, frick.
We're done.